potted meat, butter, venison or beef cooked, anchovies, Jamaica pepper. Are we ready to begin, Mrs. Willard?
We are.
Potting meat is a way of preserving it for later use. Boil or stew your venison or beef until it's thoroughly tender. Mince it into very small pieces. Put the minced meat into a sturdy bowl. Next, mince the anchovies. They being salty will be adding all the salt we need. They add a bit of flavor to many dishes. Then add the Jamaica pepper. That's what we know as allspice. Now add the butter. Then use your trusty wooden masher. Mash until the meat is completely blended and soft. This takes a lot longer than you think it should, but it's worth it. Film magic makes the time appear shorter. Press it into a small galley pot. Smooth the top surface and set aside. Potted cheese, butter, 2 ounces of white wine, cheddar and Cheshire cheese, pounded sugar, mace or nutmeg. Now we'll start on the potted cheese. Half the fun is grating the cheeses. The recipe asks for 4½ ounces of cheese. Now add 1½ teaspoons of white pounded sugar and a small glass of white wine. At the time, that meant 2 ounces. We used nutmeg instead of mace. Mace is the outer covering of the nutmeg. We added the 1½ ounce of softened sweet butter and then began mixing using the same trusty masher as before. Pound it until the cheese and butter blends completely, and then fill a galley pot and smooth the top surface as you did before. A galley pot is a small pot of glazed earthenware or metal used by pharmacists to hold medicines or ointments. We're using one here because our quantity is not large. We're using clarified butter to give us a good seal on the pots for preservation. It serves the same purpose as paraffin would later in the century. We used John Mollard's recipe from 1802 for clarifying our unsalted butter. We put it in a small spider and heated it on the hearth. Butter is about 80% butter fat, 15% water, and the rest is milk protein. Heat the butter until the solids separate from the fat. It won't take very long for that to happen. Remove from the heat and set carefully on the table. Have a bowl at the ready. Then skim off the foamy milk proteins that form on the surface. Spoon off the pure butterfat without disturbing the water collected at the bottom of the spider. To get a good seal, make sure the rim of the galley pot is clean when you pour on the clarified butter. Keep it in a cool place to solidify it.
Mrs. Weaver, I've been toasting.
I can tell.
Shall we sample our handiwork?
Yes, ma'am. I will try the potted cheese.
And I'll try the potted meat. Until our next culinary adventure,
We'll see you in the kitchen.